Hello everybody, this is RockHound and welcome back to our video guide to Minecraft. In this episode we're going to be talking about controls. Now, if you're familiar with any kind of first-person game, the controls are going to seem pretty familiar to you. But before we get going, I want to say a couple things. First of all, I'm going to be explaining the controls as they work on the PC version of Minecraft. So if you're playing a Mac or another system that Minecraft is on, the controls will be probably at least a little bit different than what I'm explaining here. Also, if you are left-handed or would like the controls to behave a little differently, you can always hit escape on your keyboard, choose options, and go to controls, and use this interface to change at least the primary keys of the Minecraft control system. So there's also a lot of other options and things to see in the game menu. Again, that was the escape key. Now, basic movement is, as you would expect, W, A, S, and D on your keyboard to move your character around. You can control the direction you're looking with the mouse. You can see the cursor right in the center of the screen. That's right centered on where you're looking. And you kind of use that to steer your character. So if I'm just holding the W key down to move forward and I move the mouse around, you can see that I can easily control wherever I go. The next key that we need to worry about is the jump key. That's the space bar on your keyboard, and your character can jump one block high. You see this black block here is one, and then I've got a two right there, two stack. I can't jump up onto this. But if I'm pressing forward and jump here, I'll jump right up onto that. So you'll see a lot of stairways built with blocks like this, and you can jump from one to the next and climb up like that. The next key we want to look at is the left shift key, and that's what's called the sneak key, and it doesn't readily seem that useful because most games with a sneak key will let you fit through a smaller location. In Minecraft, you still take up a 2-block high space, so you can't get through any smaller area if you're sneaking. However, in multiplayer, that will hide your name from other characters if you're sneaking. Also, if you're sneaking, you cannot fall off the edge of a block. So if I go right here, you can see I can walk kind of out past the boundary of that block that I'm standing on and not fall down. That's because I'm holding down the shift key and sneaking. Now if I'm out here, as soon as I let go of the shift key, I'll fall right down. So I've got some vines growing here, and I've got ladders on this side. Both of them will act as a ladder in the game, and you can climb those by just going up to it and pressing forward like you're going to walk, and you will climb right up. Let me go down here, and you see you can climb up vines that are on blocks exactly the same way. Another movement control I'd like to discuss is sprinting. So if you see, if I press forward here, we move at this speed. Now if I press W once as a tap and then hit it again and hold it down the second time, what's called a double tap, it will put you into sprint mode. You can see I'm not moving significantly faster, but it will actually let you get around quicker in the long run, and also lets you jump a wider space than you normally can if you're just moving at your regular speed. Let me come over here and show you the controls in the water. It's pretty much the same as on land. There's not any kind of specific swimming controls as there are in some other games. You move around just like you're walking, and you hold down the jump key to move up in the water, and you can kind of float along the surface if I'm holding down the jump key, and you'll be able to hop right out on the edge. You can interact with the world using your left and right mouse button. The left mouse button is typically used to break or destroy objects, also to use your tools like the pick or shovel. the right mouse button is used to interact with objects or to place blocks. So I've got a crafting table here. If I right click on that, it will open up the interface. Left click, if I hold the button down, will break the crafting table. Same with furnace and a chest. Now I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about inventory management here. That since we have the chest open, you can pick up items using the left mouse button and move them around to any open inventory slot that will accept the item. Some certain interfaces won't accept some items, but that's just a single left click and left click again to drop whatever you pick up. And you'll see I just picked up a whole stack of stone with the left mouse button, dropped it again with the left mouse button. If I click on a stack with the right mouse button, it will pick up half of the stack. There we go. I've got half that stack picked up. I can do that again. Right click to pick up half and divides it evenly. If I hold down the shift key, it's a quick way to move things back and forth between appropriate inventories. So if I hold down the shift key, left click on this stone, it's going to jump right into my inventory. Same if I hold down the shift key and click on the stone down here, it'll jump back up. And you can move stuff back and forth really quickly by holding down shift and clicking. If I wanted to, I could pick up a whole stack with the left mouse button and place a single item using the right mouse button. And in the latest versions of Minecraft, you can also click and hold down the right mouse button to automatically drop a single item into whatever spot you drag that stack over. Another nice new feature is double clicking on a item will pick up as much of that item as you can out of an inventory. So if I double click here, you see now I just picked up all those, stacked them together really nicely. One more quick inventory management feature that's been added is left click and drag into an inventory will evenly divide the stack that you're holding into however many spaces you have moved the stack over. Again, double click to pick up all of those, drop them into my inventory. I can shift left click to grab all of the arrows, and I'll just simply pick these up and drag them to the spot where I want them. So that's a little bit of inventory management. Let's talk about interacting with the world. Again, you can break stuff using a tool with the left mouse button, just like you can with your fists. And you can interact with items with the right mouse button, or place blocks with the right mouse button. Blocks or any other placeable item. Now let's talk about some of the other keyboard commands that you can use. If you hit Q on your keyboard, it will drop whatever your selected item is in your hotbar, just a single one of them at a time. If you hold down the control button and hit Q, it will drop an entire stack of whatever you're holding. Now, one of the things I forgot to mention earlier is that you can select different items in your hotbar by either scrolling with your mouse's scroll wheel. You can see I'm scrolling down here and scrolling up to move through the hotbar. You can also use the number keys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on your keyboard to select the appropriate hotbar item. So if I press 9, it'll grab my arrows. I press 2 for my pick, 3 for my bow. Very quickly can swap between those items. Also, you can hit E on your keyboard to go into your inventory window. This is where you can equip your armor, manage your inventory, etc. Craft a few items here. If you want to drop something that's in your inventory without having to hit Q on your keyboard, you can just pick up the stack and drop outside of your inventory window, and it'll throw it out onto the ground. The T key will open up your chat window, and if you're on multiplayer, You can chat with other people on the world. Again, you could also hit just the / on your keyboard, and that opens up the chat window as well, but it preps your window for command line arguments like this. Time set, day. Let's change it to daytime. Another cool inventory management feature that I didn't talk about previously and I just remembered is if you hit E and you're in your inventory and you would like to change the location of the stuff in your hotbar, if you hover your mouse over the particular item and then hit the number key on the keyboard that you would like to move that item into, it'll actually shift it. So say I want to swap places of the pick and sword in my inventory. If I just hit the 1 key here, it'll move that item into the first hotbar. Again, I will hit 2 here. It'll pick this up and swap it with whatever's in that space in the hotbar. It works from your inventory to your hotbar as well. So if you have a sword here and a pick somewhere up here, if I hit 1, it'll move the pick to the first spot and replace the spot in the inventory with the sword, like so. Pretty nice. There we go. Hit escape to close out of that. The inventory window can be closed out of by hitting the E key or hitting escape, and that holds true for almost all of the other items that you can interact with in the world as well. So I could just hit escape to close out of that. Now those are almost all of the basic commands in Minecraft. I do want to cover some of the other commands that are available on the function keys of your keyboard. The F1 key toggles your heads-up display. If you watch my life and hotbar down at the bottom, and my sword that I'm holding, you'll see that it causes it to disappear. It doesn't make them not function. I can still select different items and interact with the world with those, but it just makes them invisible. F2 on your keyboard takes a screenshot and puts it into your it puts it into your screenshot folder, which is typically in your it's in your Minecraft folder, wherever Minecraft installed to, in a screenshots directory. And you can see the name that it gives the screenshot that is taken there. That works really well with the F1 key. You can hide your heads-up display and take a screenshot. The F3 key brings up the debug window, and the debug window is extremely complex. It's typically used by most players to note down their exact location in their world so that they can find it again if they get lost. It's got a lot more information, and I'll actually cover the full extent of the debug window in another tutorial. Hit F3 to close that back out. The F5 key toggles between first person, third person from behind, and third person from in front perspectives. So if you're recording video or want to take a screenshot with your character in it, you can hit F5 to get a view like this, hit F1 to hide the heads-up display, hit F2 to take a screenshot, and there you are. You've got a screenshot with your character looking at the camera. I'm going to hit F1 to bring the heads-up display back, and hit F5 to change back into first-person mode. Now F8 will turn on mouse smoothing, which gives you kind of a really slow, smooth movement. I'm not moving the mouse any slower than normal here. It's actually just being smoothed out by the game. And that is used for some cinematography effects. If you're doing a video and you want to do a cool, walkthrough of an area, it can kind of add to the effect. I wouldn't recommend it for normal gameplay, however, because it makes it really kind of unresponsive if you're trying to do something quickly. Now the next couple keys I can talk about, but I can't really show them to you on the video. The F10 key will essentially pause the game without having to hit escape and jump back out to Windows, so that you can pause the game right where you are and go out and do whatever you need to do on Windows and come back, and time will not have passed. The F11 key will let you toggle between full screen mode and not. And if I do that now, it'll mess up my video, so I can't show you that either. But just keep in mind that they are there. And I believe that those are all of the controls that I'd like to talk about today. Something to note, I just have this here to show you. If you take a fall in Minecraft from 3 blocks up or higher, you will actually take damage. So that's the height that you need to be careful falling from. Just a little side note there. Alright, so that is the basic controls of Minecraft. Remember that this video series is indexed, so if you want to continue on with some more of these learning Minecraft topics, go down in the description and everything should be outlined for you. Look through there and go watch another video in the series. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.